And now it is time for me to stretch my legs and go hang out with my buddy Steven Caldwell at the other side of the expansive Studio 9. We like to call this the lounge, though I don't have any scotch to offer you. I'm kind of embarrassed.
That's unfortunate. That'd
I know.
Be nice.
Wouldn't it be great if we could drink on TV? But anyway. Jonathan David, you know, we've talked about him and just the incredible season he's had for his club team Lille and in the Champions League. He's just been phenomenal. But, you know, this is really where Canada needed him to step up on the world stage, and he did that.
He did, Jay. And we always put such high expectations on him, don't we? We want to see everything from this lad. And often we have, but we ask him to defend, and we ask him to link the play, and then we ask him to score the goals. And sometimes we're a little critical when we don't get everything. But today, we got everything. We saw the real quality of finish that only he is capable of. It's just the touches are sublime. The last one's the most important, and it's past Matt Turner before he can move. And I was pleased for him that he got that moment, because he does so much unselfish work for this team. He'll run the hard yards. There was a moment we saw him track right back in a defensive position for the team. That's what he does. He's a true team player. So to get his moment of glory, he's had a lot of them in the Canadian shirt, but he deserved that one on a big stage.
It was interesting to hear Alistair Johnston and David speak about Jesse Marsch, and the players have obviously bought in, and the players obviously appreciate the intensity and the fact that he stood up for them just as he did. What did you make of Marsch and the way he behaved in this one?
Well, he wears his heart on his sleeve. He's a committed guy, and he shows exactly how he feels in everything that he does. But I think he'll be first to say that he made a bit of a mistake today. You know, you never want to be sent off on the touchline when you're that leader and that focal point, and someone that these young men look to, like Jesse Marsch, an amazing coach. And you can see he's lost his cool there. He's lost control. So I think he'll be a little embarrassed. He'll look back at it and he'll wish that he had treated it differently. The second one that he got so irate about as well was never a penalty kick. The first one you could argue maybe. The second one, not at all. So I think he'll be disappointed, and I think he sort of let himself down, but in a way that sort of inspired the guys in terms of the passion and the commitment and the theme that he's been saying through this tournament, that Canada are not getting the calls in this CONCACAF stage. And he is right in a lot of ways. Just maybe chose the wrong call to get so irate about.
And, you know, I know it's just for third place, Stevie, but at the same time, the way Canada played, Dane St. Clair, very good in this one. And, you know, there was a lot of talk. Should he go? Should Max Kleipo go? But the last competitive match before the Gold Cup, what does it show you that this team went all out against an American team that might have been favored in this one?
I'm glad they did. I think they were favourites, and I think everybody expected a reaction from the US, but we didn't get that. We saw a Canada side who were totally committed. And we said they've got to be committed in every single game, whether it's a third, fourth playoff, a Gold Cup, an international friendly against a European side or an Asian side or an African side. Every game, every minute matters for this group of players, whether you start in the lineup or you're on the bench. And so it was great to see that Jesse Marsch made some changes. Tani Oluwaseyi got his first goal. That was great. Schwanier came into the middle of the park for Eustáquio. We kind of questioned that. He did tremendously well. So they're going to have to rely on more than 11 players. They're going to have to rely on 20-something players that can all play minutes when we get to the World Cup next summer. So I'm pleased that in this second game they showed their true selves. They totally dominated this match.
Yeah,
They're by far the better side. So they very much deserved it, and it was good to see Sinclair again, who we criticised a little bit, maybe for not making a big save. Rather harshly, I guess, at times, but he had that big save with Luna near the end, so everybody played their part.
It's funny you bring up the Americans and the fact that they were dominant. I wanted to just ask you about that program. What do you and Luke make of Team USA soccer right now? Underwhelmed?
Underwhelmed, completely overhyped. A lot of attention on some of these players because of the clubs that they play at, but they're not doing the business, nowhere near it, and they've got a new high-profile manager, and Mauricio Pochettino, I have loads of respect for. I've loved his work throughout his time in England, PSG. He looks like he's coasting a little bit in this role as head coach of the US men's national team. He did not give this tournament the respect that it deserved. His team then showed that on the field, in my opinion, and really an abysmal few days for them. So there's a lot to think about. They're going to get criticised heavily. And it's about time these guys stopped talking and they stood up and they delivered. So there's mega pressure on them, and it'll keep building if we don't see an improvement to the performances and the commitment when they're wearing the national team jersey.
And America might not care if they weren't co-hosting a World Cup next year. Right?
Exactly. And then the whole, global eyes are going to be on them. So they're on a stage. They're expected to do well. They're expected to go reasonably deep in this tournament. If they play like that, they're going to get turfed out in the group stage.
So Canada beats the U.S. Consecutive games for the first time since 1985. What were you up to in 1985? What were you doing?
1985, 5 years old, cruising around Stirling, probably on my BMX, thinking I'm cool.
Cool back then, very cool now. Thanks, Stephen. Appreciate it.